Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening to our international viewers. Thank you for joining me today. I hope you are all safe and healthy wherever you are. Today I will be talking and discussing about the Malta Permanent Residency Programme. By way of introduction, my name is Charlotte. I am a business developer at Vistra Malta. I have joined Vistra in 2018 as a residency and citizenship officer, so I haven't held the same kind of application for residency and citizenship by investment program. And today I am also here with my managing director, Alistair Scambry, who is also representing Vistra Malta as a regulated company. We are licensed to handhold and submit such programs. And before I start this presentation, I also would like to share with you that I myself am an expat in Malta. I have been here for the past 5 years, so I relocated here in 2016. So I hope that this will help me assist you better and put me in the best position possible to understand your needs. So I'm going to share my presentation. Today's presentation is going to go as this. First, I will introduce you to Malta, the Maltese Islands in general. I will then move on the various advantages that Malta offers as a second residency jurisdiction and as a relocation jurisdiction. Then we will go on the different requirements and conditions that are required for the Malta Permanent Residence Programme. I will go into details regarding the timeline as well. And I will conclude this presentation with a brief talk about Vistra Malta and the Vistra Group. So let's start right now. For those of you who do not know it, we are a small archipelago located in the middle of the Mediterranean Sea. As you can see, just under Italy, we are just between the European continent and north coast of Africa. Our islands are Malta, Gozo, and Comino, and our capital city is Valletta. So Malta has been a British colony back in the day. We are now independent and have been so for over 50 years now. We are a republic, a member of the United Nations and of the Commonwealth of Nations. We are, of course, a member of the European Union since 2004. We are in the Schengen area and have Euro as our currency. So Malta is a very thriving country. We have a thriving economy. As you can see from the latest ratings, A+ for Fitch, A- for Standard & Poor's, and A2 for Moody's. Those are stable ratings, and we are quite proud to say that we have overcome the COVID pandemic, hopefully, and that future is bright. As you can see, our unemployment rate is of 4.4%, which was at 3.3% before COVID. However, now I believe we are on the right track as well. Our expected GDP growth for this year is of 4.5%. Before COVID, it was between 5 and 6%, so one of the highest in Europe. But again, this only shows how Malta has come through the pandemic and has a bright future in front of him. And lastly, it can be also useful for you to know that Malta has over 70 double taxation treaties. So for your personal matters or business matters, this can be of interest. So before I move on to the various advantages that Malta has to offer for individuals who wish to relocate or to obtain second citizenship or residency here, I wish to show you a small clip of life in Malta, as I believe that an image can speak 1,000 words. So I will just let it speak for itself. So as you can see, Malta has a lot to offer. At least I hope that this video attracted you to at least spend a few days as a tourist in Malta for holidays. But Malta is much more than that. And as an expat myself, I tried to gather as much information possible that was important for me at the time of my relocation, so that I can share with you what I think is the most important when one wants to obtain a second residency. So first and foremost, the Maltese residence card holder obviously have the right to reside and stay in Malta for as long as they like. With this card, they can access the Schengen area visa-free, which can be particularly useful when you wish to travel on business, for example. You only need to show your passport along with your residence card to access, to board your flight. Malta has also moderate cost of living. Actually, we were featured a few days ago in a Forbes article about places to relocate. So I can confirm that. Malta also provides gender-neutral identity documents, which can be of interest. I know that we are ahead when it comes to LGBTQ rights. The programs that are offered by Malta are family-friendly. We are actually one of the few countries offering 4 different generations to apply along with their main applicants. So it means that there is ascendant and descendant generations that can also be included. This is good for the applicants who wish to relocate with their children for access to better education. I can also confirm from my personal experience as an old student from the University of Malta that the education level in Malta is rather good because it is based on the British system, so the level is quite high. Of course, as you can imagine, Malta is fully English speaking. English is the second official language in Malta. Everything is drafted in English and written in English. This helps because there is no language barrier when you move here, so you feel already at home, already included in the community. Of course, all programs are business friendly. It's always helpful to be a resident of Malta, but it doesn't need this. Malta is full of business opportunities. I could go on and on for a very long time about all the advantages. I would like to mention also the weather. We have wonderful weather most of the year with mild winter and 300 days of sunshine a year. The safety of the island is exceptional. We have a very low crime rate. So as an expat myself, I really feel safe in Malta. As you could have seen in the video, we have a multicultural environment with a lot of history, which I love about Malta as well. And one thing that is also good to take into consideration are the flight connections. Malta, you can be from Malta in 2 hours in many European cities. Before COVID, we used to have direct flights from Dubai and Doha. Right now, they have been suspended, but I am hopeful that in the near future they will come up again so that we would have even more connection throughout the world. And last but not least, I would like to have a few words about the quality of healthcare here in Malta. I know that from my end, when I relocated, it was really important to find at least the same level of healthcare that I was having back in France. And I must say that in Malta, both public and private clinics are delivering excellent care. I know that it is important for individuals who wish to take up a second residency so that they have access to better healthcare than in their jurisdiction of origin. So that is something that you may want to take into consideration. And also now, with COVID, we have seen a surge in medical tourism, simply because any resident of the Maltese island, any holder of the Malta residence card is eligible to take up the vaccine here in Malta for free. Actually, we have the highest vaccination rate worldwide, and within the next few days, we will soon be reaching our herd immunity. So it really feels good as a Maltese resident to be part of a safe community, and I believe that it's a luxury to have a safe place to live in, and I hope that any one of you would have the chance to live this in the future. So now we'll move on to the main conditions of the program, the Malta Permanent Residence Programme. So, of course, as the name says, one would have the right to reside indefinitely in Malta. However, there is no minimum stay requirement. So you may want to spend a couple of days in Malta in a year, or to stay permanently in Malta. You are also able to work in Malta if you are a beneficiary of this program, subject to obtaining the relevant work permit. The Maltese residence card that you will obtain will be renewed every 5 years. So you will need to come in person to Malta every 5 years to renew it. It cannot be done through an embassy, unfortunately. Along with this, you will also receive a certificate of residence, which has no expiry, so it's for life. Upon the death of the main applicant, the certificate of residence would be given to the descendants, so it's really an investment for the whole family at the end of the day. As I was mentioning, you would be able to travel freely within the Schengen area with your residency card. However, the condition here is that one cannot stay more than 3 months in every 6 month period in the Schengen, in another Schengen country. Should you receive any income from Malta or foreign source income that you receive in Malta, you would be taxed on this in Malta. However, there is no tax on worldwide income that is not remitted to Malta. So before I move on, I want to also make sure that I note that this is not a tax program. In Malta, we also have another tax program, which is called the Global Residence Programme, which gives special Malta tax status. And the MPRP is also not leading to citizenship. So after 5 years, after X number of years, you cannot apply for citizenship, for multi-citizenship. However, there is another program in Malta made for this, which is called the multi-citizenship by naturalisation for exceptional services by direct investment, and it is a residency program leading to citizenship. So the first condition that I wish to talk about is the fit and proper condition. So as you may be aware, the European Union has had a lot of scrutiny on Malta these past few years, and that is why the previous programs were scrapped and changed, and this is why the MPRP has been established a bit earlier this year. So obviously the authorities have become more stringent when it comes to the applicants. A lot of background checks and due diligence are being conducted, and it's important that the main applicants are genuine. Of course, it is also a condition that the main applicant would be able to sustain themselves, that they have stable income. Actually, there is a minimum capital of €500,000 that is required, out of which €150,000 must be in the form of financial assets. So as it is a residence program, obviously the main applicant would be required either to purchase or to lease a property in Malta. If one opts to purchase the property, the minimum qualifying amount for such would be of €300,000 for any property that is located in the south of Malta or in Gozo, the sister island of Malta, or €350,000 for the property that are located in the center of Malta. Should one want to lease a property in Malta, the minimum amount are 10,000 euros per annum for properties located in the south of Malta or Gozo, and 4,000 euros per annum for anywhere in Malta. So this point is important because it will determine the amount of financial commitment to be done for that third condition that you see here. So either this financial commitment will be of 68,000 euros should the property be purchased, or 98,000 euros should the property be leased. This amount includes 40,000 euros of administrative fees and is applicable for the main applicant along with his spouse and children, all of them together. So when I say financial commitment, I mean really and truly a payment to the Maltese government. It's a non-refundable one-time donation to the government, but I see it as an investment for the community that you would be part as a Maltese resident. In fact, Malta has been able to assist businesses during COVID thanks to the funds that have been collected through such programs in the past. So it's really, in order to be part of the community, I find that this financial commitment is fair. For any other dependent, there is an additional fee of 7,500 euros. And in the future, other dependents may also be added to the application with another fee. Last financial condition would be the philanthropic donation of 2,000 euros to a registered local NGO. Of your liking, you would be able to choose within any registered NGO in Malta to make this donation. Lastly, I also want to include here that any main applicant and their dependent would be required to obtain a health policy that covers them for a minimum of 30,000 euros here in Malta. So you can see here the eligible dependents. So along with the main applicant can also apply his spouse, their children. When I say children, I mean minor children, children that are yet to be born, but also adult children with special needs or adult children that are not married and that are financially dependent on the main applicant. Parents and grandparents of the main applicant and spouse can also apply, as long as they are also financially dependent on the main applicant. In the future, should the children get married, their spouse can also be part of the application, added as a dependent, along with their own children, so the grandchildren of the main applicant. And that is why so many generations can be added to this program. So for this program, this is how it looks like in terms of process, of timeline. I like to divide it in 5 different stages. The first stage is primarily a onboarding stage from Vistra. We would be executing our letter of engagement, have our fees settled. We will conduct our initial due diligence and complete the onboarding, upon which we would be able to issue a power of attorney in our favor in order to enable us and our managing director to represent you and submit an application on your behalf to the agency. Stage 2 would be the application pack building stage. So we would conduct a tier 1 due diligence, collate all information, all documentation that is required to build the pack. There is quite some documents to be obtained. We would also complete the application forms, which you would need to sign. So you would be vetting them, of course. And once the file is completed and ready, we would submit it with the Residency Malta agency, which is the agency regulating the program. Stage 3 of this timeline would be the due diligence stage. So once the pack has been submitted, Residency Malta agency will conduct tier 2, tier 3, and tier 4 due diligence on not only the main applicant, but also all the dependents. And they will go into great depth about business relationship, about assets of the dependent and the main applicant. So it is an invasive due diligence and background check. That is why we always recommend the main applicant to be transparent and disclose anything that is required, so that the stage is as fast as possible. Obviously, the agency can always come back to us and ask more clarification or information that is required. And this stage can take between 4 and 6 months, depending on the information that are required by the agency. Once they have everything they need, they will present the file to their own approvals board and hopefully issue the letter of approval in principle. So once this letter has been issued, we would move on to stage 4, which is the investment stage. So the applicant would be required to settle the contribution to the government, to proceed to the donation, and obviously to finalize the lease or the purchase of the property in Malta. This is also at the stage that they will need to subscribe to a head policy. Last stage, the residence card. So the main applicant, along with the dependents, would be required to come in person in Malta in order to collect their biometric data for the residency card. Once everything is ready, the letter of final approval would be issued along with every residency card and the certificate of residence. So this does not end here, because for the next 5 years, there will be what we call annual compliance. And basically, Vistra would be required on an annual basis to submit an updated form, update the agency of any new passport, etc. So it's an annual update to the agency. And this means that the applicant must retain his minimum capital for at least those 5 years, must also retain the qualifying property for at least said 5 years. After those 5 years, one can have less capital, or one can move to a cheaper property in Malta. However, it is important that the main applicant always retain a residential address in Malta, simply because otherwise the residency card would be null without a residence in Malta. So I think that is it for this program process. Before we move on to our Q&A session, I wish to just explain to you what we do in Malta, because we do not only focus on investment migration, but we also offer other services. We have a corporate team taking care of company formation, of trust foundation, of accounting, tax. We also have a dedicated marine and aviation team, and of course our residency and citizenship team. Our team for residency and citizenship have over 20 years of experience in this field. Our senior officer has been handling resident and tax resident clients for as long as 20 years. So I can assure you that our clients are being taken care of. In fact, we pride ourselves in being a one-stop shop in Malta, because we do not only focus on the application and that's it, we also take care of anything that pertains to it. We assist with the lease, or we offer concierge services, or assist when you visit Malta for any reservation or anything. So we really build a long-standing relationship with our clients. As I said, our senior officer has had the same client for over 20 years. So I think it is our main value here at Vistra Malta. But Vistra is not only in Malta. I'm sure that you know that Vistra is a global group. As you can see, we are present almost everywhere around the world. We have 85 offices across 46 jurisdictions. This means that it's almost 4,800 employees. Unfortunately, we're not yet present in Africa. However, we have 8 offices in India, 2 in the UAE. We are also based in many cities in Asia and Southeast Asia. So I'm sure that any attendee today can find their closest office and reach out to the Vistra group. Obviously, we would be happy here to hear from you. So here you have our contact details, myself and my managing director, Alistair Scambry. Please feel free to note them. If you have questions in the future, you can always drop us a line. But now I think it's time to answer your questions. So I thank you for listening to this presentation.
Thank you very much, Charlotte, for that presentation. We will be going for some questions now. There are a couple of Facebook questions that have come in. If anybody has any extra questions to ask Charlotte, please do so. Message on the Q&A or message us on Facebook and we'll be sure to try and get round to them. So one of the questions is, Charlotte, is there any programs in Malta for €100,000 with loan payments?
When loan payments, yes. So for now, this new program, the MPRP, has not yet clarified this in their policies, but we are actually already exploring this because of an existing client of ours. So hopefully I can get back to you soon about this. So if you can just drop me a line on my email, I will be able to get back to you with a proper answer for this.
All right, lovely. Another person asked, will my grandparents be a part of the application as dependents?
Yes, sure. So grandparents and parents can be a part of the application. They can be added as dependent as long as they are financially dependent on the main applicant. And this will need to be approved with an affidavit made by the main applicant and the grandparents, and also other proof evidencing this financial dependency.
Another question we've just got in, after the lock-in period, can the applicant sell the bonds or his investment portfolio and still hold a Maltese residency?
So under the old program, this was the case that after 5 years you could sell your investment. However, for this new program, as was mentioned in the presentation, there are no such investment in place. It's only a contribution. This was for the last few applicants until end of March, if I'm not mistaken. So this is not applicable anymore.
Okay, brilliant. Another person asked, is there an age limit for dependents?
No, so same thing. This was applicable for the old program. Now this new program has no age limit for the parents, grandparents, or for the children. The only condition is that they are fully financially dependent on the main applicant.
Okay. Can you specify the Vistra fixed fee payable?
So this is on a case-by-case basis because it depends on a lot of factors such as the number of dependents or the risk associated with the application. So same thing, I would be able to give you a proper fee proposal if you send me a line on my email so that I can give you exactly a tailor-made proposal for your needs and for your dependents.
Thank you. Another attendee asked, what are the main tax implications of being a Malta resident?
So as I mentioned, being a Malta resident under the MPRP is not implying that you will be a tax resident in Malta. The only taxes that you would have would be on a remittance basis or on any income arising in Malta. But there are other programs that are tax programs if that is of interest, and I can as well give you more information and privately by email if you wish to explore this further.
Thank you. Another question was, can I sell my investment after I receive the residency?
So same thing, this is investment, if you are talking about the investment in stock and bond, this is not applicable anymore. If you're talking about the investment in real estate, so the property, this cannot be done within the first 5 years, or at least if it is done, you need to have another qualifying property without gaps, without address or residential address in Malta. So for the first 5 years, you always need to keep your own purchased or leased property in Malta.
Lovely, thank you. Manisha Sharma messaged us and said, I am a chartered accountant practicing for the last 6 years. What is the scope of my occupation in Malta?
Okay, so there's a lot of demand in accounting and financial services in Malta. So that's something that needs to be explored. Obviously, you need to take into consideration that first of all, companies in Malta needs to first look for new applicants within the Maltese citizen, Maltese nationals, then within the EU nationals living in Malta, and then they would be able to expand to third country nationals. Obviously, you would need to obtain a work permit to travel to work in Malta. However, if you just come here with your work permit, your stay in Malta is not guaranteed, as in it is not part of the program. Your residency in Malta and your residence card in Malta is guaranteed if you are part of the, if you're a beneficiary of the MPRP, for example.
Okay. Ravindran L asked us, financial commitment, what is it per year?
No, the financial commitment that I mentioned earlier is a one-time payment to the Maltese government, so it is only a one-time fee, non-refundable.
Okay, brilliant. Another investor's asked us, what documents are required as proof of assets?
Okay, so for proof of assets, one can show any property valuation for real estate or for any work of art or any other assets. For the financial assets, you can show bank statements or different investment of portfolio. So that's the type of document that is usually provided to the agency.
Okay, all right. Another investor asked us, do you have any tax advantages for an IT company in Malta?
So any company in Malta, Malta is a country that offers tax advantages for companies, and the system usually is a system of 6/7 tax. So basically, the dividend, the shareholder would be able to get a refund, a 6/7 refund on the tax paid by the company. So that's how it works in Malta. If you want to explore it further as well, I can send you more documentation in details about how the whole process works by email.
Thank you very much. Another attendee asked us, do you assist with the selection of property for rent or purchase?
Yes, of course. We have our team here, our dedicated residency and citizenship team that can visit property for you. We liaise with our partners, our residential real estate agent in Malta, and we will typically do a short list of properties that are according to your requirements, to only offer what's the best for yourself. And if you would like to come in person, we can also accompany you to visit the property, to view it, and we assist with the signature of the lease agreement or the promise of sale via a power of attorney with our managing director, Mr. Scambry.
Okay. Another investor asked us, I run a small tech company. If I obtain the residency, am I also able to include my 3 employees in the same application?
No, unfortunately, employees are not eligible dependent. They would need to either apply themselves separately or then apply for a work permit, and the company would help with the obtention of the work permit.
Okay, thank you. Another attendee asked, can I take a loan to pay for the investment?
So same thing, yes. This is still to be explored since it's a rather new program and nothing is clearly specified about this solution. So I suggest that you send me an email and I will get back to you when I have more clarity about it.
Thank you. Another attendee asked us, I am working as a senior manager with LAMC in technical support, taking care of India commercial region, have an experience of more than 15 years. What are the opportunities for me?
So as I was mentioning, we are promoting the residency program in Malta, which is mainly made for the high net worth individuals who are planning to relocate or having a second residency in Malta. So there are some requirements, some financial requirements to be met. So working would depend on the issuance of the work permits. So this is on a case-by-case basis as well. The employment market in Malta is rather good and open. There's a lot of demand, but this will need to be discussed further according to your specific case. So I suggest again that if you want to send me a bit more details by email, then we can look into it.
Okay, thank you. A couple of questions are asking us, what are the booming industries in Malta after the pandemic?
Well, as from next week, as for 1st of June, we are officially reopening the island for tourism. So as you can imagine, Malta is mainly dependent on tourism and hospitality. So I believe that this is gonna obviously boom again for summer when the tourists will come. Obviously, travel to Malta is subject to a PCR test, and within the next few weeks, months, we expect that it will be subject to being fully vaccinated, so tourism can start again safely. But Malta is also a host to many gaming companies in Malta, also financial services, accounting, as I was mentioning. So there's quite a lot of opportunities on the island.
Perfect, thank you. Abhishek Anisha asked us, can you explain the financial commitment of €68,000 to €98,000?
Okay, yes, so the difference here is whether the property would be purchased or leased. So if one opts to lease the property, the commitment would be of €98,000, and if one opts to purchase the property, the commitment would be of €68,000 for the main applicant, the spouse, and their children. If I go into more details, so this fee is a contribution, as I said, to the Malta government, and it will be paid partly upon submission of the application. So 10,000 would be upon submission of the application. Then 30,000 would be upon issuance of the letter of approval in principle within the month or the next 2 months after this, and the remaining difference will need to be paid within 9 months from the issuance of the letter of approval in principle, and this needs to be paid from the main applicant's bank account.
Thank you very much. Ahmed Bobby asked us, I'm an estate agent from Nigeria with 2 kids and wish to relocate with my family. How do I go about the process?
Okay, so in practice, all you need to do is contact us with a bit more information about your dependent, the age of your dependent, also which program you are more interested in. I believe that the MPRP as presented would be of interest for you, and then we will work out our fee proposal. We will offer you the different steps that needs to be taken, and we will assist you obviously every step of the way and make sure that everything goes smoothly.
Thank you. Ravindran asked us, would asset held outside Malta qualify to be considered as capital?
Well, I think that technically any asset can be investment portfolio or real estate, immovable properties, can say a yacht, work of art, anything that that can be considered as an asset, basically.
Thank you. A couple of Facebook questions now. How long has Vistra been in residency space?
Well, Vistra has been already based in Malta for 11 years now, 11 years actually next month. And our residency and citizenship team was already working all this time with residency clients. And before the office here in Malta was Vistra, they were already working in this field for over 10 years. So it's been in total 20 years of having our senior officer working with tax residents and residents client. So Vistra is quite experienced and to assist you with these different programs.
Thank you very much. Okay, there's quite a big question here. So if you could just do us an overview, it's like 3 questions in one. So Sandy asks us, if I don't buy a property and I just take a leased house, will that be fine? In that case, I need to provide 68,000 euros. Is that correct?
No, if you lease the property, it's 98,000 euros. 68,000 euros would be if you purchase the property.
Okay. Also, please let me know whether partial funds can be provided by my friend who is in Ireland.
So I assume it's the funds for the financial commitment. So I would say that your friend can be a beneficiary, as we call it, and obviously the beneficiary, so the person that would be paying, that will be funding the application on behalf of the main applicant, will need to provide a few documents as part of the application, such as passports, bank statements, etc. I will not go into the detail, but there are some documents, some forms to fill, and yes, that can be part of the application as long as the beneficiary is a fit and proper person as well.
Okay, thank you. Another question we got is, what is your track record?
Can you repeat, please?
Another question we got is, what is your track record at Vistra?
All right. For this new program, this has just been started, but if I understand the question correctly, we have handled this application for the whole MRVP with a 100% success rate. So I hope that I answer your question here.
They just wanted to have a bit more of an insight of your history, so how successful you've been, and just kind of give an overview on that scope.
All right. So for the residency program and tax residency program, we've been highly successful. I mean, we only, as I was mentioning, we only select applicants that are fit and proper. So we do an initial due diligence process before onboarding as well. So that is to ensure that there will be no hiccups when we apply with the agency, with the government. Yes, so there's not really any problem that we usually encounter, because we ensure firsthand that everything will go smoothly. So usually there's no surprises.
Okay, thank you. A lot of people are asking, what are the benefits of starting up a business in Malta?
Well, mainly, I would see 2 main benefits. I was mentioning earlier the tax advantage, because that's one of the lowest, when you compute it all, the lowest tax rate in Europe. Basically, we would the shareholder will be able to get a tax refund on the tax that has been paid by the company on the dividends. And also Malta is part of the European Union, so I think it opens opportunities not only in Malta as a thriving country, as a thriving economy, but also within the European Union and obviously worldwide. But Malta is quite a good base to open a business, and we've been actually at Vistra, our corporate team has been very successful with setting up new companies and new businesses here. So if you have a particular idea in mind, please feel free to share it with us, and we will be able to assist you further as well.
Thank you very much. Another question we got on Facebook: if we get denied, does my family get a full refund?
Unfortunately, there is no refund, and there's no appeal either. However, as I was mentioning earlier, the payment of the fees wouldn't have been completed, so you would have paid only the initial 10,000 to the government before the possible refusal, the unlikely refusal. So you wouldn't have paid the full 68 or 98,000 contribution. So at least that's something to keep in mind. From our perspective, from our Vistra fees as well, there is no refund possible either, because the main work would have been done already by building the whole application pack as well.
Thank you very much. We've got a question here from a pharmacist. He wants to know, what kind of education do you have available for medical students?
So at the University of Malta, the public university, which I had the chance to attend the master there is a medical faculty. There is a medical science faculty, and actually the university is just located next to the public hospital in Malta, and this is a student hospital as well. So all the students are going as well to study there. And I can say that there's also foreign medical students and medical professionals that come as well to work at the public hospital here in Malta. So this is quite an interesting question. And yes, so my answer is yes, there is a lot of opportunities as well for medical students.
Okay, thank you very much. Charlotte, if you could just wrap up for us. I apologise if we haven't got round to everyone's questions. I'm sure Charlotte's got some contact details that you can all reach out to her on. So if you could just summarise in total, that would be great. Thank you very much for everyone participating today.
Thank you, Nina. So yes, as Nina said, obviously I've seen that there are quite a few questions in the chat. So I hope you took note of my email. So it's charlotte.brun@vistra.com, and feel free to send us particular question which needs to be answered on a case-by-case basis, so we'll be able to assist you better. As I said, the MPRP is a new program, so I think it's the best time to tackle it and to start applying. Malta is hopefully, I think we can say that we are putting COVID behind us. We have less than 80 active cases right now on the island, so it's very contained. The majority of our population has been vaccinated, so we are reopening. And I think it's the best time for you to relocate or to take up a second residency here. Thank you for your attention and your time, and don't hesitate to contact us if you need more information.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you for everyone for joining this webinar today. If you attended the webinar late, don't worry, we can send you a link so you can access the webinar from start to finish. Thank you very much, and thank you so much, Charlotte, for today. It's been perfect.
Thank you, bye-bye.
Thank you, bye-bye.